The wind howled through the dusty streets as Clara stood alone outside the town saloon, clutching her small bag. The last man who had come to meet her had laughed. "I don't take in trouble," he had said, turning his back. Her stomach tightened. No money, no home, no one left. The sheriff stepped closer, his voice firm. "You've got till morning, miss. After that, you move on." Tears filled her eyes. "Move on to where?" Just then, a quiet voice spoke behind her. "I'll marry her." Clara turned. A tall cowboy stood there. Worn hat, dusty coat, tired eyes. The sheriff frowned. "You sure, Ethan? You can barely take care of yourself." The cowboy nodded slowly. "I have enough." Clara hesitated, then whispered, "Are you certain?" Ethan met her eyes gently. No one should be left with nothing. And just like that, her life changed. Ethan's ranch was small, just a broken fence, a tired horse, and a cabin that had seen better days. Clara looked around, hiding her disappointment. "This is home?" she asked softly. Ethan gave a small nod. "It's not much, but it's honest." That night, they sat across from each other, eating simple stew in silence. Finally, Clara spoke. "Why did you help me?" Ethan stared into his bowl. "Because I know what it's like to have no one." Something in his voice made her pause. For the first time since arriving, Clara felt a small sense of peace. Days passed, and life was hard, but steady. Clara cleaned, cooked, and slowly brought warmth into the quiet cabin. Ethan worked long hours, fixing fences and tending the land. One evening, Clara handed him a mended shirt. "You didn't have to do that," he said. She smiled faintly. "I wanted to." Their hands brushed for a moment, both quickly pulling away. Later, as the sun set, Clara sat beside him on the porch. "You're not like the others in town," she said. Ethan glanced at her. "Neither are you." For the first time, they both smiled. A storm rolled in one night, fierce and cold. The roof began to leak, and Clara struggled to keep the fire alive. Ethan rushed in, soaked from the rain. "You'll catch a cold," she said, grabbing a blanket. "I'm fine," he replied, but his voice was weak. Clara stepped closer, wrapping the blanket around his shoulders. "You don't always have to be strong," she whispered. Ethan looked at her, something soft in his eyes. "And you don't have to face everything alone." In that quiet moment, something changed between them. Not survival anymore, but something deeper. Days later, men in fine coats rode into town, asking questions. Clara overheard whispers. "They're looking for someone. A landowner. Disappeared years ago." That evening, she noticed something strange. Ethan speaking firmly to the men, his voice no longer quiet or unsure. She stepped closer. "Ethan, what's going on?" He looked at her, hesitation in his eyes. "I didn't tell you everything." Her heart raced. Ethan took a deep breath. "This land, all of it, it's mine," he said. "Not just this ranch. The valley, the fields, everything." Clara stared at him in shock. "But you live like you have nothing." "I wanted to," he said quietly. "People treat you differently when they think you're rich. I was tired of lies, of being used." He stepped closer. "But you didn't know, and you stayed. You cared." Clara's voice trembled. "You let me believe you were poor." Ethan nodded. "I needed to know if someone could love me for me." Silence filled the space between them. Clara turned away for a moment, gathering her thoughts. Then she faced him again. "I didn't stay because you were poor," she said softly. "I stayed because you were kind." Ethan's eyes softened. "And now that you know the truth," he asked. Clara stepped closer, her voice steady. "It doesn't change how I feel." She took his hand. "You gave me a home when I had nothing. That means more than any fortune." Ethan pulled her gently into his arms. Outside, the sun rose over the land, his land, their future. And for the first time, neither of them felt alone.